The New York Post just ran a powerful piece by journalist Libby Emmons about a woman who is fast becoming one of the most compelling voices of her generation, Erika Kirk. While Hollywood glorifies chaos and the left sells despair, Erika is building something radically countercultural: hope, forgiveness, and purpose for Gen Z women who've been told they're victims instead of visionaries. Libby Emmons captured that moment in a recent article. Erika Kirk is on a mission: rescue Gen Z's women and heal America's divide. It's part cultural commentary, part wake-up call, and exactly the kind of conversation this country needs. So tonight we're asking the journalist who wrote it, what does it mean to fight for faith, femininity, and freedom in a culture that mocks all three? Joining me now, editor-in-chief of the Post Millennial and columnist for the New York Post, Libby Emmons. Libby, a wonderful piece you have on Erika Kirk. What is her message to Gen Z women?
Her message is to come to faith. It's to find your God-given path in life. And it's not to listen to the feminist lies that have been being pumped out at American women since the 60s and 70s. And her message is very strong and it's very clear.
How do you think that'll compare to what we're hearing from the left today, as they do enjoy an advantage, particularly with Gen Z women?
They do enjoy that advantage, and I think it's definitely an unearned advantage. We have for too long ceded the moral authority in this country to a left that celebrates death. They celebrate death through abortion, they celebrate death through trans, euthanasia, all of these things, the scourge of telling women not to have children because of climate change or because of overpopulation or other social concerns. And I think it's time to tell the left that their moral authority is no more. It's based in nothing. It's based in misery, and it's time to let that go. Gen Z women need to look closely at themselves, at what they want in life and what is best for life itself. What's best for life itself for women, I think in most cases, is to be a mother. It's to raise the next generation. And there's so much fulfillment and joy in that. And it's that fulfillment and joy is something that has been obfuscated by a left that tells women that career is the ultimate the ultimate fulfillment in life. And it's just not true. We see so many older women in their late 40s and their 50s, late 30s even, who are looking at their lives and saying, hey, I've girl bossed myself right out of a relationship, right out of a family, and now I'm by myself. And sure, I can afford brunch and my own diamond rings, but what use is that?
Joy is something I'm really glad you mentioned. The Erika Kirk model that she is portraying in this time of great personal grief, where does she present that joy emerges from?
Yeah, I think joy is a really important concept, and it's different than happiness, right? Because happiness is something that is momentary. You get a great ice cream cone, you're happy, that's fun. But joy is something that really comes from faith, and it comes from fulfilling a purpose in life. And Erika Kirk, I saw her speak at Charlie Kirk's memorial at State Farm in Phoenix just a few weeks ago. And I was really struck by her message. She's very strong. She has suffered an unbelievably tragic and horrifying loss, but you can see that she has a purpose set. She knows that her primary job is to mother her children, and that also she wants to fulfill her husband's legacy. And that is such a beautiful thing to look at someone who is grieving, but who also knows that they have a path set out for them that is important and clear to follow.
And I think to so many people who couldn't imagine doing what Erika's doing in a time of such strain and personal grief, you think, gosh, well, how is she able to do that? And the answer is really the first thing you mentioned in this discussion: faith. And when you see Erika draw so much strength from her faith, it kind of makes other people want to draw that kind of strength. And it gets, I think, a lot more people interested in reconnecting with their faith, developing their faith. Libby, there is a loneliness epidemic that does seem to be hitting the country. And I don't think you can blame the women or the men for that. It seems to be societal in nature. What do you think cures it?
That is such a tough one because we all experience loneliness in life and times that we feel lost and confused and are unsure of which way we should go. And it's not easy to figure that out. I think close friendships are important as opposed to the endless number of acquaintances we might have or mutuals on social media, neither of which really bring you anything. I think that relationships, romantic relationships where you are committed to each other, where you're sharing God's love with one another, because that is what will secure a relationship. It's not either person's yen for one thing or another. It's sharing God's love with each other and channeling that into your relationship. I think that is a help for loneliness. But I think really what the most important thing is to find a relationship with God in your life, which is something that is very difficult, right? I mean, faith doesn't come easy for most of us. It's something where every day I have to say, yes, God is there. God cares about you. God loves you. God loves your family. You can talk to God all the time, and it's not an easy thing to do, but I do think that the country is ripe for a revival. I remember when I was studying the revivals, when I was in high school, there were revivals in like the 1800s or whatever, and our teachers would talk about it like it was stupid, and Americans were just dumb for getting on this faith bandwagon, and that the revival leaders were snake oil salesmen who were just duping everyone into getting on board with faith and then giving up all of their money. But America is a country that was founded with a lot of faith. The Pilgrims, when they came here, they were led by God. That was their belief. And I think that Americans should not give up on God so easily. And if we look to faith, if we look for that, and if we look for communion with each other, we might just cure our loneliness. Another thing I think that really helps loneliness, just as a an instructive, I think, is to volunteer and go be helpful, because it really makes you feel better to be helpful. Go help at your church, go help at your local homeless shelter, go help with at the dog kennel, whatever it is. Helping helps you.
Yes, no question about it. Well, we certainly think that Turning Point is well positioned to lead in a revival dynamic in the United States. You think about how Charlie Kirk had such an amazing connection to America's young men. Erika Kirk, a shining example for America's young women in your outstanding piece in the New York Post. I encourage everybody to check it out. Libby Emmons, thanks so much for joining us on the program.
Thank you, Matt.